Waheguru Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ki Fateh. It's been 1 week since Guru Bhajan Singh and the Yogi Bhajan people came here to Yuba City to teach their Tantric Sex Energizing Yoga. And I want to alert Sikhs to this danger of participating and becoming involved with this Yogi Bhajan cult. It's very disturbing how Yogi Bhajan's people promote themselves as being Sikhs when secretly they go around without dastars or turbans. They flaunt their sexuality, and they basically, in my opinion, want to disarm Sikhs. And I'll be talking a little bit about why Sikhs need to defend themselves and why we need to train for self-defense with firearms. Now, first of all, I want to address this issue about Yogi Bhajan's cult as a tantric sex energizing cult. My experience was, when I was in 3HO, and from all I've read, is that Yogi Bhajan's teachings promote this tantric sex energizing practices. Now, I know many people who are in 3HO and that have left 3HO disagree with me on this. But I am very firm in this belief that Yogi Bhajan had in mind to distract his followers from true Sikh teachings and got them into all of these tantric sex energizing practices. Now, you can witness this by going to Guru Bhajan Singh's wife's Facebook page, and she's got all of these pictures. Now, Guru Bhajan Singh, by the way, was the one who taught this course here in Yuba City, and he is a creative director of SikhNet. And you can witness his appalling flaunting of pictures of him and his wife without wearing the stars. They are not wearing any kirpan or kacheras. They're doing these sexual practices in the waterfall there, and they flaunt this on their Facebook pages. So they come here and they present themselves as being real Gursikhs and wearing all the 5Ks, when in fact, in secret, they go around without wearing the 5Ks. So I think their real agenda is to take good Gursikhs and the Sikh youth away from true Sikhi, and they want to get them into this Yogi Bhajan cult. Now, this is a real danger, as I say, because this gets into this whole thing where Yogi Bhajan was trying to get his people subsumed into Hinduism. And I think that was Yogi Bhajan's agenda, and I now think that it's SikhNet and these Yogi Bhajan people's agenda is to subsume Sikhi into Hinduism and basically disarm Sikhs and to completely do away with the Sikh values and principles that we all value as being Sikhs. Case in point again, SikhNet promotes all of these pacifists, and they don't promote anything about training for self-defense with firearms. There's nothing on SikhNet about that. And they just had an article, in fact, about how promoting how some Buddhist groups are pacifists. Well, that's okay for them, but Sikhs that's okay for the Buddhists, but the Sikhs have a long history of defending ourselves and for standing up for our religious beliefs. And so, case in point again, is how Guru Gobind Singh armed Sikhs. We drove the Muslims out of India. And the Hindus, on the other hand, did nothing. So, if it wasn't for the Sikhs, India would basically be a Muslim country. And so, we need to continue this training with weapons and self-defense, and to train with firearms, which are the most practical way of defending yourself in modern times. There's also a history with Guru Gobind Singh and weapons too. You can read about it on my website. Many quotations from Guru Gobind Singh where he talks about should not come before him without uncut hair and weapons, and how we should be proficient with all kinds of weapons. So, I want to train Sikh youth in the use of weapons so that we don't have this situation happen again that happened in 1984 when Indira Gandhi was killed and the Sikhs there were massacred basically by the Hindu death squads. And we don't want this to happen again, where Sikhs are unarmed. We want to be able to defend ourselves. And another case in point is how some of these Hindu Vata death squads are going around killing innocent Sikhs. There was a man that has the same name as I have, Trilochan Singh, who was killed in the evening when he was going to water his crops by Hindu Vata death squads. His head was cut off. And there are pictures of it that Dal Khalsa has on their website, so you can see it. Don't just believe what I'm saying, but go and look at these pictures that they have there. And of course, SikhNet never publishes anything about this type of thing. SikhNet and the Yogi Bhajan people want to disarm Sikhs and slowly subsume Sikhism into Hinduism. So we all need to train with weapons for self-defense. The other thing I'll point out is that Sikhs in the United States, many of I have seen, are against weapons. And we need to be for having training with weapons and self-defense. Because if we have a situation where, for example, if there's a nuclear attack by some terrorist group, they destroy major US cities, then there's going to be a lot of mayhem and a lot of retribution against Sikhs, because we look like some of the Taliban and these people that would be the most likely terrorists that would be attacking and setting off an atomic weapon if they ever get a hold of nuclear material. So because we have this long beards and turbans, and we have this resemblance to these Taliban and radical Islamic people, then we need to be able to defend ourselves. And it won't be a pretty picture if something like this nuclear attack happens on the United States. So we need to be able, as Sikhs, to defend ourselves and our families and defend those that cannot defend themselves as well. So I encourage Sikhs to seek training with weapons and firearms. Now, I just recently purchased this new 45 caliber handgun, and I have yet to take it out and shoot it, but I just got it a couple days ago. So this is the most modern form of self-defense weapon. Shoots a 45 caliber round, which is known for being able to stop an attacker. The 45 caliber handgun was developed first during World War II to stop attacks by foreign soldiers who were attacking Americans who were on drugs and who were all hyped up, and it was known for just stopping them dead in their tracks. So I would recommend investigating and getting a handgun such as this, so that you're well armed and can defend yourself, and again, defend those that can't defend themselves. But we also need to have some security and self-defense set up in the gurdwaras around the country and around the world for that matter. I realize that in many of the countries that firearms are not allowed, but there are other measures that we can take by knowing how to defend yourselves against attacks through martial arts or gutka, this type of thing. And also just being aware how to defend yourself if somebody's coming at you with a firearm is useful as well. There are many things that you can do in order to not be shot at. So again, I want to encourage people to not listen to these Yogi Bhajan people who only want to disarm Sikhs. They want to get Sikhs into this Hindu Vata thing of pacifism and worshipping idols and false gods. The things like the Tantric Sex-energizing Yoga that they're into. These are all just ludicrous things that have nothing to do with Sikhi. And they're a way for Yogi Bhajan people to attract these Sikh youth into things that are completely un-Sikh-like. So stay away from these Yogi Bhajan people. And if they come to try to teach a course or try to teach a class in your city, tell them that you're not a Tantric yogi and that Sikhs don't believe in this type of rubbish. Instead, we need to be training our youth in the recitation of Gurbani and training in self-defense. I had a lot of experience growing up as a youth, as you can see by the patches and the awards that I received from the age of 11. I tried out for the Olympics 4 times, and I made many of the state and national teams, won national awards in shooting and self-defense. So I'm very familiar with firearms and self-defense. So call me. I have my phone number and an email address there. Be happy to come out and train youth and train adults too as well in self-defense, which we really should do as part of our heritage. That Guru Gobind Singh gave us this command, this mandate to train ourselves in weapons and self-defense. Thank you for your time. Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh.